Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here, and today I'm taking a look at a dice-driven worker placement game called Papua. In this game, the players are going to be sending out their explorers on different expeditions, doing different things like gather money, gather food, go and discover different animals in the jungles, all sorts of different things. But this is all driven from dice rolls, and you have to manage those dice rolls to get you what you want while avoiding catastrophes or really just dealing with them, having enough food so that you can feed your people, dealing with events as they come up, all sorts of moving parts here. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this all works together. We'll come on back after that. I'll tell you what I think of it. So here's what the game might look like, mostly set up, a couple turns into the game. So the objective is to get the most victory points when the game is over. Every player is going to have one of these screens, and on the back you have a summary of how you score victory points. You'll get victory points for sets of these cards over here. You're going to get victory points for these cards down here, these expedition cards, for having different ones or for having several of the same kind. You're also going to get victory points for leftover goodies at the end of the game, for coins, fish, for energy, which is tracked on this long track here, and then for your explorers themselves, all right? So here's how a round plays out. You are going to have two phases, the start phase and then individual player turns. So during the start phase, we are going to make sure that we discard any old ones down here, play out three new ones. We play out one of these cards right here. We are going to allow the player who has the least amount of energy to put out this token on one of the places where we can send our explorers and therefore block that spot. So let's say for right now, they are going to go here and block anyone from making coins this round. No money this round. And then we also flip over two of these for three players, and we place them here. If this one comes up, it means we're going to reshuffle the stack next time. So we will set that aside, and next turn, we'll shuffle them all together. And so again, it's the yellow player who decides to do this there. And then we are ready to begin starting from the green player. The green player is going to roll normally 6 dice, or 5 dice rather. They might roll more if they've advanced on this track here, okay? And they might also be able to set some into place if they before they roll. So they're going to go ahead and roll their dice. If they roll any catastrophes, which they did not, they would have to lose one of their explorers from behind their screen. Again, their workers would be behind the screen, as well as coins and food, the fish. But they didn't. So now they get to use these to send out explorers. You can use the dice however you want to. You can pay coins to re-roll. You can pay coins to change the pips up or down, though they don't wrap around. And the places that are still on the board that don't have a value assigned, the players can do that now. So this player might, for example, this is the green player with the most energy, decide that this spot right here is going to be the ones. And they'll send out 2 workers there. So they're going to go ahead and do 1, 2 right there. These are spent. Then for these others, they have 2 3s and a 4. They're going to say, okay, the 2 3s are going to go gather me some food. So I'm going to lock that place in as the 3s for this round, and they'll send 2 people there. And then for the 4, you know what? They're not going to use it. Because for every person you send out, you are expending 1 energy. And so they spend 1, 2, 3, 4 energy. And they're done. Now it's the blue player's go. The blue player has advanced previously on this track, which means they would have an extra worker. And they get to roll 6 dice, but they can also lock one before they roll. So the blue player wants to make sure that they get some fish as well this time. So they're going to lock one of these at 3 and roll the rest. They go ahead and get that roll. They'll send out 2 people for fish. So that's 2 3s right here. They also want to go up here and gather this card, which is this location. They're going to make that the 4. And they will send 1 person out there and lock that as the 4. And then for the 1, they could go here. But you know what? They don't want to compete for that this round. And they don't care to change the die. The 2 5s, they're going to try for one of these tokens. So this is going to be the 5 spot. And they send out 2 of those workers to that spot. And that's it for blue. Blue has deployed 5 people, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But blue doesn't want to go through that spot yet, that 40, because they have to eat 2 fish to pay for, the food that their explorers are consuming. So, 3, 4, 5. Instead of doing that, they are hoping to gather some fish right now. They're gonna spend 2 fish and move 2 fewer energy on here. So that's what the fish are for, or when you need to pay them for something. So instead of 5, they'll go 1, 2, 3. They'll pay for that in just a little bit. They had the 2 fish, but they're going to be acquiring some more. And then it's the yellow player's turn. Yellow player has their 5 dice. They roll those. They have 1 catastrophe. A catastrophe means you either lose an explorer or you pay 1 coin to heal them from whatever disease they are afflicted with, and you keep them. They're going to go ahead and pay a coin. So again, I would have some things behind my screen. Pay a coin. This die is locked, cannot be re-rolled. I cannot change the face on it. And then I do whatever I want with the other ones. So I got several 3s here. But this player is going to pay 1 coin as well. If I had some behind my screen, again, I would pay a coin and change one of these 3s to a 2. And I'm going to make this spot the 2s. It's the one that hasn't been selected yet. So I'll do that. Send 1 person there. And then the 2 3s could take me down there for fish. Let's say yellow's set with fish. They're okay with that. And then for this 5, I could go here and get the one of those tokens. Great, I'll do that. So yellow has done that. 1, 2 workers deployed. Pay the 2 fish when I hit that point. So I would take my 2 fish and pay them. If I couldn't, then I would be penalized. My explorers would be penalized. And now we get to phase 2. That was the start phase. You send everything out. Now we're going to resolve that. That was phase 1 and phase 2. So now we resolve everything in the order of the pips on the areas. So this happens first. In this area, we're going to have an auction for the cards down here. And again, those translate into victory points at the end of the game. Anyone who went there is going to use their screen to bid for the 3 separate areas. And you are going to use the workers, the explorers you have left behind your screen, as well as coins, and put bids here. The number of places at which you can bid equals the number of workers you sent out here. So let's say that, yellow sent out 1 more, for example. Then they could bid on 1 place secretly, and green is going to be able to bid on 2 places. You'll then reveal this. You are going to see if you win. You're going to pay energy for every explorer that you assigned, whether you won or lost, and you are going to lose the coins you assigned only if you won. If you lost, you keep those coins. And so, yellow wasn't actually there, so green bid on 2 of these cards. They'll take them, and let's say they spent 2 energy doing that. So 1, 2, they now have to pay those 2 fish. And they take these. Those are going to be in their area down there. That's area 1. Area 2. In this one, you are going to advance down these huts, giving you more explorers and more dice, and also the ability to lock more dice. Yellow moves from off the track to the first spot. They gain a new worker that they immediately put behind their screen, and they are going to, from now on, roll 6 dice and be able to lock one. We move on from that to area 3 over here for the fish. You are going to roll as many dice as you have workers there plus 1, and you are going to get as much food as the number of workers plus the difference between your highest and your lowest number. A catastrophe for this counts as a 0. So blue is going to go ahead and roll. Blue is going to get 2, 3, 4 fish. So they would take their 4 fish, put them behind their screen. And then green, same thing. Green rolls 4, the 1 and the 5. The difference is 4, 5, 6 fish. And they'll take their 6 fish. All right, that's done. We go to area 4 over here. Whoever has the most workers there, most explorers, gets this card. That's going to trigger. If there was a tie, then we go by who has the most energy left. So this player is going to get that. Blue, and this one is unhappy workers. Each other player loses, must pay 2 coins or lose 3 energy points. All right, yellow's going to go ahead and pay their 2 coins, but green's going to lose the energy. That's done. This is going to be kept by that player for endgame scoring as well, but I'm going to leave it here for a second because it affects one other thing. And then we go, I'll explain what that affects, which is actually the coins area, which was blocked, but I'll leave it there for a minute. Then we go finally over here. Whoever sent out the most workers is going to get one of these tokens. The next player would get the other token, and so on. Again, there would be 3 if we were playing with 4 players. And so blue is going to get first dibs of this. 3 energy, or as many fish as the number assigned to this area. Blue's going to go with that. 5 fish for blue. So they take their 5 fish. And then yellow takes this. 1, 2, 3. And these are set aside to be reshuffled in a bit. Be aware if you cross one of these spots that make you pay food, you back off, and then cross it again, you do not have to pay that penalty again. And that's it for that resolution. Everyone takes back their workers. We see if the game is over, and we'll start another round if the game is not over. Coins, which I did not explain, let's say this situation was reversed here, and let's say we sent out something like that. This is going to be resolved by rolling 3 dice, and you are going to get as many coins as the number of workers you send, plus either the highest die, the middle die, or the lowest die rolled, depending on this event up here. In this case, it has a plus, so the biggest die. This would be a good round to go gather some money. So we're going to roll that, and that's a really bad roll for money, unfortunately. That's how that works. It's 1 plus 1, 2 coins for yellow, 3 coins for blue, and that's the round. So that's how everything works. You are trying again to get the most victory points. You'll get those from those sets. Sometimes you'll have tokens that show up here that are also just straight up victory points, such as that one. And once the game is over, you'll tally everything up and see how you did. Don't forget, for the next round, this goes away, we replenish these, and we bring out a new card in this spot, such as this one here that says, help from the natives. During the next round, you can choose the result of any of your dice which didn't roll a catastrophe. Very powerful card. There's going to be a fight for that one, I think. So that pretty much explains everything that's happening in the game. Let's go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of it. Alright, so that is it. Let me tell you what I really liked about it, or what I thought was just alright. Overall, I really liked this game, though. So, things I really liked. The aesthetics, I think, are very nice. The artwork is fine, and I like it myself, but again, you can make up your own mind about that. I'm talking more here about the iconography and the quality of everything included. For the most part, those things are very good. Now, some of the little meeples that the players have, they're of all right quality, not the best woodwork I've seen, but the iconography in the game is very helpful and very well made, so thumbs up there. I really like the, I think the game length is good. This box lists 75 minutes, and that seems right to me. I think the game is about 75 minutes, and that feels like a good amount of length for the amount of involvement that the game requires of the players. Longer than that, and it would outstay its welcome. Less than that, and you don't deal with the highs and lows that the game throws at you, the players. And then I really like also the amount of interesting tactics in the game. How many choices and options and outcomes are possible. So the tactics and strategy for me are certainly there. Yes, there's luck in the game, but at those 75 minutes, it feels more like, I guess it feels more like an adventure that you are going through, things you are dealing with out in the jungle, out on your quests and expeditions, than, oh, the dice hosed me. You know, I didn't see too much of that, and I haven't had a problem with it. I've really enjoyed the options presented in the game. Things I think are just alright. The theme, the thematic ties here, it's alright. It's something we've seen before lots of times. It's not a bad theme per se, and I do find that it ties well to the things you are doing in the game, but the theme is not inspiring either. The replayability. Now, as far as new things to discover goes, yeah, there's you're going to keep coming back to this game. I think there is enough interest and enough moving parts to keep you coming back. I don't think it scales very well. The box lists 2 through 4, and I don't like the 2-player variant. The game already has a lot of little rules. I'll talk about that in 1 second. And then at 2 players, it compounds that problem. So For me, it's really a 3 or 4 player game. That's a pretty small window, unfortunately. And then finally, the thing I thought was just okay is the lots of little rules. Like I said, the ease of play here is a little on the hard side. Now, once you've played one time, it's going to get a lot easier to deal with. But sending out the people to all the different places and then resolving all of them, each one having a subset of rules of how to contend with that specific area, there's a lot of those. And while I appreciate and I think it's great the way some of the places interact, like having the card up here in the corner with the plus in the corner is going to make you more money. Cool. I like that interaction. I like the, making food and then using that food and for that very next turn. Those sorts of things that come together. Gathering workers because you're about to have a bid. The order in which these things trigger is also important. While I like that, there are also a lot of little rules to teach and internalize, as you are playing the game. So that's gets just a middle of the road grade from me. Overall, though, I do like this game quite a bit. I was intrigued by it, by the look, by the just what was going on in it. This idea of rolling the dice and then deciding which face matched which place for round to round, And then as it plays out, I found it very captivating. So this is a good one for me. I enjoy it. It's I would certainly recommend that if you like worker placement games that are dice driven and you don't have a bad reaction to some luck in your games. So there you go. This one gets a seal of approval from me. Papua is a nice game. A little bit different from what's out there, I would say, and that is to be commended. So there you go again. Seal of approval for this one. Thanks for checking this out with me. I'm going to see you on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.